Alright, I want to do a review of my favorite inside the waistband holster. N82 Tacticals. I've got two holsters here, actually got three. This is a professional, this is for my XDS. This is called the Envoy, envoy. I recently became available on their website, and it is about, they're actually the same price. They're both $69 on their website right now. That may change in the future. Currently, they're both priced the same. The Pro is extremely comfortable. They're both extremely comfortable, but the Pro beats the Envoy a little tiny bit in comfort. For my measurements, the Pro is 1 millimeter thicker than the Envoy. It does not have this outside, I don't know what you want to call it. It's like a bead, or it's just some extra material. It's really, it feels good. They're both very comfortable. I think the footprint is really close to the same as far as, yeah, they're really close to the same size. They may be cut the exact same way. These are for two different pistols. You notice some scratches on the Envoy. I actually had a fall. Was a pretty serious fall. No injuries. I had protective gear on. And I found something out that I don't think anybody has discussed so far, and maybe it happens with other holsters. These are my favorites, so this is what I'm always carrying in. When I fell, the magazine actually ejected from this gun. You can see there was some scrapes there on the magazine, scrapes there on the clasp. And when I did, I believe that the holster and gun pressed up against my body so hard that it actually hit the magazine release and ejected the magazine. The magazine went flying. And I thought, at first I thought it was just I fell hard and it came out of the gun. But then, I don't know, 2 weeks later I was trying to put my pistol, my holster on. And I usually take my gun, put it in the holster, and then put my holster inside my waistband. And I remove it that way too. I figure it's safe, the trigger guard's covered, there's really no way it can go off. And I was putting it on, my pants seem to be getting tighter as I get older for some reason. And I was struggling a little bit to put it on, and I ejected the magazine because I put my thumb right there and pressed up against the magazine release. Now I noticed that is more that is more likely to happen with this gun. It's the pistol design. I don't know that it's the holster design. This sticks out pretty good. The XDS is a little harder to hit. I think I got it to eject one time when I tried to. But you really have to struggle. Yeah, you can do it, but it's a real struggle. I don't think that's going to happen in real life. When I did have the fall, the pistol did stay in the holster. The only thing that happened was the magazine released, and the SIG P365 did not go off, and it was a pretty good impact. So that's good too. The reason I like these is they are the most comfortable inside the waistband holsters I have ever tried. Whoa, check that out. Look at what just happened. Right here while I was reviewing it. Holy cow. I have to talk to them about that. Did not expect that. That is really surprising. Wow, that floors me actually. Okay, so I'll get with N8 on that and see what they say. I don't know what kind of warranty they have. Probably a year. I'll find out though. So I had my first failure with it. That's bizarre. Did not plan that. Let me check my own. There's another one. It's a Glock 19. This seems to be holding. The rivets are holding on that. This is a friend's. We wanted to. You'll notice the burn marks here. We were trying to get it so it was a little easier to release. So the twist and lock did not hold as tightly as it comes from the factory, because the difference between the Envoy and the Pro is that the retention on this one is you can slide the gun out a little more straight, whereas you cannot do that with the Pro. Once it locks in, and the way it locks is it's got a serious indentation here on the trigger guard, so you cannot pull it out straight. Well, it's very difficult to pull out straight. And if you put any kind of outward pressure, like if somebody came and tried to grab it and take it away from you pulling out this way, you're not going to do it. the way you release is going to push it in just or twist it towards your body a little bit. It's still tough to get out. It will come out, but the reason I went with the envoy is I started doing IDPA, and at that time I realized that when you're under stress, when you're under pressure, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It needs to be simple, it needs to be fast, it needs to be reliable. So that's why I went with the envoy. My favorite option would be to have this holster with slightly less retention on it, and that's kind of what we tried to do here. And what we did is we heated this up with the outside, and I took something and tried to pry up on the inside with it, and to minimize or reduce that cliff there that the trigger guard hangs onto. That didn't work out too good with the. That didn't work out too good with the. Well, as you can see, it didn't work out too good with the lighter. So after I had done that, and I wasn't getting rid of he wasn't going to get rid of this holster. He's going to keep it. So he didn't mind doing this. Now the way we ended up fixing it was or making it so it didn't have as much retention is we took a flat bladed soldering iron, like a screwdriver tip on it, heated it up not to where it was fully hot, but got it warm enough to where we could just push up on this a little bit and melt some of that down. It did work. It's a lot easier to get out now. You can almost pull this one straight out. It's barely anything. You could probably drop it out actually. Well, maybe not quite, but it comes out easier with less twisting motion than it is from the factory. So if you want to modify your holster, and I'm not saying you should do this, if you wanted to, take a flat bladed soldering iron and heat it up, and not totally blazing out like you would to use to be soldering something. Just get it warm enough to where it'll just melt that plastic just a little bit. Put it in there and push out on it a little bit and draw it back and smooth it out a little bit, and that will do that. Anyways, that's my review. I love these holsters. I'm kind of surprised about the XDS holster falling apart right here in my review. I will ask them what they can do about it. So,
okay,
thanks.
As a follow-up to the holster falling apart in my review, I got with N8 Squared. They have a lifetime warranty on their holsters, as long as it's not abused or anything like that. And they sent me a new one. The new one does not have the piping that I like on the outside. I guess I'm calling it the piping that I had on the Pro. This is a Pro, so this is the latest model of Pro, and it does not have the piping on the outside. Like, well, I actually prefer it, but this is the way it is now. And I still think the Pro feels a little thicker than the Envoy. Even this one feels a little thicker than the Envoy. I may be totally wrong. May just be my opinion. The first one, the measurement definitely showed it. I haven't measured this one, but it just feels a little thicker than the Envoy. And the reason I prefer these single clip holsters to a pancake style holster, I forgot to mention this in the review. Just my personal opinion. Other people like the pancakes. I like this better because it doesn't take up as much room, and it's easier for me to put on and off with just one clip there. I clip it on, slide it on, and I can pull it back off with one hand, basically. I've tried the pancakes. To me, they're cumbersome to put on and take off, and they take up a lot of room. So that's why I prefer the single clips.